All right, so this is live streaming, which let me go into studio mode. Anyways, so I don't expect a lot of people to actually see this live, but I'm just doing it because it's easier for me to work from my workstation than try to set up my cameras and do anything crazy. I'm sorry if you hear my 3D printer working in the background, but I wanted to bring up this, something I've been working on. I know this, anyone who's into firearms knows this. This is just a Bear Creek side charging upper. This is not important. This is just what I've been using because it uses the standard 35 millimeter round barrel nut, which is kind of what I'm using because it's a standard platform. It's a take this. So it is a you don't have to worry about indexing this, and that's what I'm going for is a non-indexing barrel nut. And this is kind of the industry standard when it comes to barrel nuts. So that's what I'm going with. This one is especially short for cutout because this is for a 410 with a very short gas tube. Uh, so that doesn't important. But so before I put it back on, uh, this is what I've been working on. This is what I'm calling the M.C.R, the Modular Combat Rail. So as you can see, like I said, it uses the standard 35 millimeter barrel nut design, which you don't have to worry about. Anyone who's ever built an AR before knows a lot of the nicer ones you get from like Aerial Precision or Troy. A lot of them you have to index it just perfectly so you can get the gas tube through it, and then you'll have anywhere between like 6 to 8 nuts or little machine screws you got to screw in, and they have to be indexed perfectly. Otherwise, it doesn't line up. So you got to use shims. You got to loosen and tighten and go back and forth. Kind of a pain in the butt. This one you don't have to worry about that because it uses, if you can see, indexing tabs, which I had to play around with a couple of iterations to get them to work properly. That go on. So when you do slide it onto the barrel nut, it indexes properly and doesn't rotate, keeps the same geometry that goes to the forward rail in case for some reason. I know it's kind of taboo to put anything forward of the receiver, but sometimes people do that to align their handguard, which this you don't have to worry about because it has the alignment tabs, the 3-screw lockdown, so you can undo it and remove it if you want to. The reason this one is different, as you can see, it has a whole bunch of M-lock slots on it. So this actually has 12 different interfaces around it. Let me pull it apart. So you can see in its standard, this would be its 10-inch configuration. Obviously, it would come in more, but this is actually the largest I could print on my 3D printer. So you can mount any M-lock accessory you want. It uses a 16 millimeter face, which is kind of a base for a lot of the M-lock surfaces. But if you have a light that you really want to index a certain direction, so when you're doing I'm trying to do it on camera, a rope grip, and you really want to get the whatever in a certain way, and you got to torque your hand a little bit or whatever, you can actually have 12 different surfaces where you can mount your light in any position you want to. Now, a lot of guys who've run adjustable gas blocks know that the gas blocks are usually adjustable from the side. Well, with this, because you have such open slots, you can actually go in and adjust the gas blocks through the M-lock slot because there's so many of them. So you can do that. Or if you have like one of the Aerial Precision ones where it's adjustable in the front, you can actually go in and adjust it through the front. Now, let's say you want to adjust it anyways, but you don't want to remove the whole handguard. Well, that brings in the module part. So these are what I call stacking caps. So they're extensions that use 4 locking points. And what you want to do is you just line it up. And these are a very snug fit, so it makes it feel like it's one solid piece. Let's say I want to, flush fit. Okay, go some 10-inch. Bam! Now you have a flush fit muzzle brake that fits perfectly. It's not welded yet. That's why I don't have it on a receiver. So I put it on a receiver. It makes it different, but I got to weld this around because this is going to be a firearm. But you get that perfect little to the brake where it's going to be, where it goes from 10-inch. Now it's up to a 12-inch. So you get the 2-inch spacer on it. And this is designed a lot of ways kind of like the Troy, their system where they have the the modular combat suppressor rail, where you can actually fit, because it's a 2.2-inch diameter on the inside. One, you can fit any gas block, any gas piston system, any of those will fit inside here with zero clearance issues. Plus, any, I should say any, because someone might make something I don't know of, like one of those, the Tutti Frutti, the big, like giant, fat, wide, but short cans won't fit inside here, but standard cans that are 2 inches or slightly 2 inches or smaller in diameter or the girth will fit inside, because a lot of guys like running the flush handguards. Well, also, if you want to put your suppressor on it and you want to lock it down, but it's kind of a pain in the butt to get it on there, especially if you're using the QD mount, you can get more stacks that go on top of it. And like I said, these are snug, go into place and lock down. Now, if you want to run a front sight, because of the diameter, I actually make an end cap, as you can see, that has a built-in pigtail rail on the front. Now, if you run this, it limits how big of a can you can run inside. But if you're not running a can and you want to have this, so let's say I'm not running a can and I have a QD mount and I don't want to run a can right now, I can just take the end cap and I can put it on there. Now I have the flush fit with the ability to run a front backup sight or a regular sight, however I want to, off of the 10-inch design. And I can add as many as I want to. I can actually produce these in smaller sizes with the shorter M-lock design. But the whole idea is it's modular. So if you want to run real short, you're doing some stuff like that and you want some more barrel stick out, have no problem. You can just run it like that. Or let's say you want to run it flush, put another one on there, or which I got to line up because they line up in a specific way. Well, not specific, just the screws have to line up because there's 4 mounting screws on either side, goes into place, and I can actually stack more and more and more. Like let's say I got one of the big dong suppressors that are 8-inch long, put it on there. Put a few of these guys on, put the end cap if you want it, or if you don't want it. But regardless, you can mount your M-locks in any position you want, up to 12 different faces. You can extend it out without having to spend $100, $200 on a new handguard. All you got to do is, hey, I'm running a new suppressor, I'm running a new brake, it doesn't work. You just buy this one piece. It's going to be 15, 20 bucks, and it's real easy because it's just, like I said, it would be made out of extruded aluminum. Not a whole lot of time to have to do a big chunky piece. You cut it out, and all you do is you just, like I said, put it in place, put the 4 screws on it, bam, you have extra length. Oh, want to run it shorter? Take it off. Oh, I want to run a backup sights on it. I just get the end cap, which would come with it anyways. There you go. So that's what I'm designing now. I'm also working on a Generation 2, which is primarily the same design as this, but it's going to be slightly narrower. So it's going to be where you can still run a 2-inch can, but it's going to be a real snug. I'm not going to do that by my face. That looks weird. A snug fit, but you won't have the indent. I'm trying to do this where you can see at the light of the built-in pick rail. It's just going to be completely round. Then it'll have a low profile rounded pick rail that you can put on top. So that way you won't have to have an end cap. It'll just be one solid piece with the extensions. You can put the rounded low profile pick rail on it. The big difference though is it's going to be a different setup with this. It's not going to be a one piece. It's going to have an adapter that goes onto the back that has clearance for the gas tube or gas piston. It's going to have high clearance. It's going to use the same barrel nut. It's going to have the same ability to lock in. It's going to have the indexing tabs, but it's going to have the handguard that's actually going to bolt in to the front extension that goes around the gas tube and everything. So if you do want to disassemble it, you can just remove the handguard, leave the extension in place, and then you just take the handguard out with all the extensions and everything, which will make the manufacturing more easy. So that way this will all be one extruded piece of aluminum that's cut down, and then this will be a separate piece that the extruded aluminum slides over, bolts into place, and that way hopefully make it cheaper, because I know having to go from this to that is going to be difficult. I'm going to have a couple custom made out of 3D printed aluminum, just so I can test on a bunch of different rifles and see how it works and make any changes, additions, cosmetic stuff that I want to. But that's what I'm working on now. I'm going to be presenting the patent for it here pretty quickly, so no one steal my stuff until then. But yeah, if you got any questions, comments, concerns, or anything you think is cool or not cool about it, leave it in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think.